What are the best 5 cars that you can buy this year in 2022 that will cost you less than £5,000? I'll tell you right after this. So what are the best cars to buy this year in 2022 for under £5,000? What are the best 5 cars that you can buy? What I'll do is I'll break them down into 5 typical categories, and I'll tell you which is the best one that you should get. So first up, let's tackle city cars. And for city cars, I would say, and especially being in London, I don't think anything beats the mid-2000s Mini. So that's the modern Mini, the new generation Mini, the BMW Mini, as some people would call it. But I tell you what, that car, even way back in 2000 when I first drove it, when it first came out and I first reviewed it, and I remember, you know, there was so much hate for that car from some quarters where people were like, oh, it's not a proper Mini, is it? It's not British anymore, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then all you had to do is say, well, here's the keys, take it around the block. And they'd all go out and they all come back and go, oh, it's really good, isn't it? And that was the thing about that Mini, that whatever you thought of it, whatever you thought of its size, whatever you thought of its cynical contrived design or whatever, the fact was it was really clever, it was really funky, it was really fun, and most importantly, it was really enjoyable to drive. And none of that has changed now. So those are still great city cars to get, and you can easily pick them up. Go for that. SUVs, what's the best SUV to get for the money? Now this one is a little bit, you might go, why is he recommending that car? But I am going to recommend, again, an early 2000s Land Rover Discovery, or LR3 as some people would know it. Now there's only one proviso with that car that I would say, and that is the air suspension. Now obviously the air suspension, as anybody that knows Land Rovers and Range Rovers knows, that they are, it's not a matter of if they'll fail, they will fail, you know. And what you can actually get now for the Discoveries and LR3s and some of the other Land Rovers is you can actually get conversion kits. So there are kits now in the market, and many people have already had these done, and those are probably the cars that you should look for, where they've ripped out the air suspension, which goes wrong, and they put, you know, a classic or traditional coil suspension into the car, which is more reliable. Having said all of that, the LR3 Discovery, and this is the square box one I'm talking about, the square box design. First of all, I thought it was a really handsome looking car. I thought, you know, that's a utilitarian modern Land Rover, that's what it should look like, you know, something that's big, chunky, solid box. It feels like it can go anywhere, it looks like it can go anywhere. And then when you got inside, it was really practical, it was really cleverly laid out, and it really made a lot of sense, particularly for families. So that's the one I would go for. They're great value if you think about it. Next category is luxury. And again, this is a car that I am quite familiar with. I have actually run these long-term, particularly in Dubai. I would say go for mid-2000s Lexus IS. Lexus IS, you're thinking, what? Well, look, you're talking about buying cars on a budget. And yes, you can buy Mercedes cars and BMW cars and all of these, you know, on that, but for that budget, you'll be able to get them. But at that sort of budget, they're gonna need a bit of work. So really, if you want to get a luxury car, you want to save money, you want to get something that feels like luxury, but you're getting it on a budget, you want to get something that's also reliable and dependable and basically unbreakable. And for that, you need a Lexus. And in the UK, the most common one that you'll get for that sort of price range is the IS. So pick up one of those, and you know what? You're just going to fall in love with the Lexus brand and become a loyal Lexus owner. That's what will happen. I'll tell you right now. Next category is convertible. And for that, I'm going to recommend the 3rd generation, late 2000s Mazda MX-5. I mean, come on. A, there's tons of them out there. B, it's like the ultimate fusion of British roadster and Japanese engineering. I mean, you can't go wrong in them. I mean, they're just brilliant. They're fun to drive, they're well spec'd for what they are, and they're just dependable, you know. And the other aspect of them, even for these later models now, which actually I think are really good looking. I think the 1st generation was really good looking. The 2nd generation was a little swoopy for my eyes, but the 3rd generation, I think they tightened it up again, and I think that was a really good looking car. Now, it's very likely that is going to become a future investment. So not only is it fun in the sun, but it could be somewhere wise to put your money. The next category is sports car. Now for sports car, I'm sitting in a classic BMW 3 Series, and I'm actually going to stick with the BMW 3 Series. So get this, in coupe guys, what I'm talking about is early 2000s E46. Now the E46 was this generation, then there was the next generation, then there was the one after that. That's the one I'm talking about. I think that was so beautifully resolved. It looked good, it was well built, it was reliable, and it was solid. Plus they were tremendous fun to drive, and you don't need to get like an M3 version or anything like that. Just get the 325i or the 330i or something like that. Then you know that's more than enough performance to be enjoying. You will not regret that choice. And when you buy a good one of those, which you can get for this money, you'll feel like you've got an absolute bargain. Let me know what would be your choices for £5,000 or less in these categories. Tell me in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one.
A big shout out and thanks to Jay Williams over at AirTechnic, who are top tier sponsors of Brown Car Guy. Check them out at AirTechnic Co UK for exhausts, brakes, suspension and body kits. Plus our other major sponsor, Nayagen Solutions. Much appreciation also to tier 4 sponsors, Muhammad Ali Humaid, Tom Conway Gordon and Reza Adil. And of course all these other guys who supporting on Patreon. Brown Car Guy is eternally grateful. Hey, think about joining them over at Patreon.com Brown Car Guy. If you can't, don't worry. Just make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel and website. Plus follow on social media by searching for Brown Car Guy.